I wish more women understood how often we are choosing to live on hard mode, doing things the hard way, living in this perpetual state of unworthiness because we think that we need to prove ourselves in order to belong. And even after all of this proving ourselves, we still don't feel like we're enough. We still end up with chronic inflammation, constipation, and this perpetual search for the spiral bound planner that we hope is going to fix us. Hi, my name is Anna. Welcome to Ambitious Softie, where I teach you how to trade exhaustion and survival for ease and pleasure. If that sounds like you, make sure to hit follow and let's get into today's video. We have internalized this myth that if we don't struggle for things, they don't count, that we must be sacrificial if we also dare to be ambitious. And so we don't rest. We don't ask for help. Over the weekend, it occurred to me that the rise in feminine energy content is likely coming from a lot of women who are just trying to teach each other how to not be in survival mode anymore. And of course it is. Look at our mothers, look at our grandmothers, look at all the stuff that we've had to survive so far in our lives as well. Of course, we are trying to understand how to get out of survival mode and how to enjoy our lives again. Most of us are white knuckling our way through life because we've never really felt truly safe to take it easy. And so this is how we spend our whole lives on hard mode and doing things in a way that's more difficult than it needs to be. So today we're going to explore 4 tiny and profound shifts to help you stop living on hard mode when you don't need to be. The first one is to be honest. Letting yourself be unhinged somewhere is incredibly healing for that nice girl programming. So create a place where you can be honest and be a nasty bitch whenever you need to be too. Recently, I went to this even too woo-woo for me sharing circle, and we use this thing called a talking stick. I'm going to use this piece of selenite to demonstrate the talking stick. So the rules of the talking stick are simple. When you're holding it, nobody else gets to talk. Nobody else gets to say anything or have an opinion about anything that you are saying. It's just whatever comes to mind or is on your heart, and you can speak for as long as you want to. For me, this brought up a whole bunch of stuff about not taking up too much space or not being too difficult to understand. I don't know, it brings up a lot when you're sitting among other people and you're given kind of the floor to say whatever it is that you want to say. And this was profound for me because this made me realize that I do not have very many places in my life where I'm getting to hold the talking stick. I'm always worried about what everybody else is thinking or how my message is going to perceive. I have spent most of my life trying to be a good girl and to not rock the boat or upset anyone. So it actually turns out to be quite challenging to tell the truth of what you're feeling. I also have the affliction where I feel like I need to say something profound instead of just saying something honest or clunky or sometimes irreverent. So I think it's really important to create your own talking stick place on a regular basis. So mine is actually a Notion page where I just rant and say whatever is on my mind. Maybe yours is a journal, maybe yours is morning pages, or maybe it's just yapping into ChatGPT. I don't know, you do you. But wherever you do it, the point is to stop editing yourself so much. Stop trying to be emotionally tidy when what you really need to say is, my boss is a cunt. I'm angry that I'm still angry about that guy love bombing me. I deserve more than this. Why am I still struggling so much? You've spent too much of your life stuffing your real feelings down, but this can be your sacred place to let it all out. This is your place to be nasty, angry, unhinged, chaotic, dreamy, hopeful, and everything in between. Don't ever forget that burnout doesn't just happen because you worked too hard. It also happens because you've been pretending for too long. Number 2, be quiet. We are all overstimulated and under-connected to ourselves. We're increasingly detached from ourselves because we are filling in the blank spaces with another podcast, another YouTube, another TikTok while we're getting ready in the morning. We've forgotten how to be alone with our own thoughts. And so many of us are actually scared to be in that silent open space. And while it feels productive to absorb 10 hours worth of self-improvement content during the week, it's actually just sabotaging your joy and it's muting your intuition. We are treating our brains things like sleeping bags that we cram in the stuff sack when it would actually do us some good to just pull out the sleeping bag, put it on the clothesline, and just let it air out in the breeze for a little while. Most mornings I do this thing I call sit and stare time with my coffee. I make my coffee and then I go sit on my couch and I just sit there for 10 minutes, no screens in the room, nothing else is on. And that's one of the few times during the day that I can really connect with myself and hear myself think. Sometimes I do a meditation. Sometimes I just sit and listen to the birds or the sounds of the city waking up outside of my windows. Another thing I do is that I take headphone-free walks almost every day. This is one of the most important things that I do because it's where I can synthesize the ping pong balls in my brain. It's where I do my problem solving that I can't figure out while I'm sitting at my desk. And it's where I literally stop and smell the roses and I look at the sky and I reconnect with myself. But I can't do that if there's a podcast yapping in my earbud. You can go to the park with your journal and leave your phone in the car. You can stare at the wall like a Victorian widow if you must, but you need regular, intentional times just to be quiet and with your own thoughts. If you are wondering where your intuition went, it's inside this practice. Number 3, be slower. You actually do not win a prize for the fastest inbox response, and nobody gives you a gold star for folding your laundry at the speed of light. And also, no one is impressed when you power through just to end up so burned out and exhausted that you need 4 to 6 business days to recover, let alone the years you're spending constantly in this chaotic cycle of burnout. Slowness teaches your body that you're okay to be here now, feeling yourself move through time and space instead of disassociating into busyness or podcasts 24/7. So find some of the regular activities that you're doing and just practice doing them more slowly than you even feel like is reasonable. Like actively try to be ridiculous with how slowly you're doing things. So I'm talking about chopping vegetables slowly and deliberately, putting your lotion on and imagine it sinking into your skin. Wash your dishes as if they are the most precious thing you own. And the next time you eat a meal, imagine that it's the most delicious thing you've ever tasted. When you start slowing down, this is one of the most important and effective ways to teach your body what safety feels like. And it is a bit uncomfortable, but it's how you remind your inner child what it feels like to relax. It's how you shift from this idea that I have to do everything right now or else to maybe I'm actually allowed to slow down and enjoy things without making them harder than they need to be. And number 4 is to be open. So I walked into 2025 with an intention to let people love me. And this is actually a lot harder than it sounds because my hyper independence is this subconscious trauma response to being left alone with my pain. It feels safer actually for me to hide behind my independence and be the president of the I've Got It Club because being independent sounds noble. It sounds strong, but my need to do things on my own and not ask for help is actually just this deeply ingrained fear of being let down or worse, being somebody who's needy or in the way. So here's the assignment for this one. When somebody offers to open a door, let them. When a friend says, do you need anything? Say yes. Even if it's just, hey, can you text me something funny tomorrow? When a stranger offers you help, don't say, I'm good, out of reflex. Say, that would be amazing, thank you. And then here's one for extra credit. Ask for help before you get to the point where somebody sees you struggling and has to intervene on your behalf. You won't do it, but I dare you. The thing is that the longer you stay president of the I've Got It Club, the longer you will be living on hard mode unnecessarily. Let somebody carry a box or pick up the check at dinner or ask them to listen to you without trying to fix anything. This is otherwise known as a receiving wound, and I could make a whole other episode just on that, but being held and supported is not a weakness. It's actually one of the most powerful things that you can experience because humans were built for connection, interdependence, and reciprocal care. If this video made your chest loosen even 2%, you will love my audio course, The 17 Principles of Soft Ambition. It's a deep dive for women who are tired of living on hard mode and just surviving their lives and want to build a life that really honors their ambition, but also their life force, their vitality, and their energy. It's not just some fluffy, floaty, man, just manifest it content. I don't do that. It's this grounded, practical wisdom for a woman who wants to work with purpose without hustling, detach her self worth from her calendar, feel more alive and connected instead of bitter and burned out. Because I have been there and I want to show you some of the things that I have learned the hard way so that you don't have to. You do not have to keep living on hard mode. You've already proven that you can do it the hard way. Now it's time to actually do it in a way that works for you. So I'm curious, what is one way that you can stop living on hard mode today? And let me know in the comments. I will leave a link to the course in the show notes as well, and I'll see you on the next one.